the thing about HBCU is a choice. When you take choice away from somebody because you have an idea that you think is going to work, I think HBCUs are just. I'm all, you know how I feel. I'm pro HBCU. When I first heard this, I'm like, she just created a HBT, C, historically black second grade class. Like she just.
Oh, that's what grade this was, second grade?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What up? It's Three Brothers No Sense. I am Tavares Ferguson, aka Ferg. Join my co-host Rozzy and Buff. Fellas, tell them what's on your mind.
Two things real quick. Friends from College is hilarious. If you haven't seen that show, it is actually really, really funny. It's got not Jordan, but Peele.
Key and Peele.
Yeah, they're the same person. I don't know which one it is. So the skinny one.
Key and Peele. It's Rozzy and Ferg. You're back in the
day. Yeah. So one of them in it. I mean, it's hilarious. It's all kind of stuff going on, but it's a really good show. And the other show that I was just excited, I was just randomly scrolling Netflix, and How to Sell Drugs Online Fast. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of it. It's like a Swedish movie or series, but it's funny as I don't know what, about a kid who needed some money. He's a big nerd, and so he sets up an online store to sell drugs, and then it actually like booms and he becomes a drug lord overnight. So, the drug lords don't like that and everything like that. So it ends up being like this whole rigmarole of him trying to become a drug lord, but not, and everything. But they have season 2 and 3 just dropped. So
have you seen Startup?
No, I hear it's pretty good though.
Similar premise. There's a young lady. They're in Miami, Byron's favorite city, and it was a young lady who was this tech nerd who was trying to create a cryptocurrency, and she was just kind of all over the place. And there was another dude who was in, I think, finance, but his dad used to be into laundering money, and somehow he got wrapped up into it. Another dude was a Haitian gang leader, like high up in the Haitian mafia or whatever in Miami. And so they all end up linking up and start to try to create a business, laundering the money with crypto, but then eventually they get and end up their stuff just keeps rolling to like drugs and everything. So it's actually pretty cool. The dude that's, I can't even remember his name, but he played, what's the black dude in X-Men First Class?
The one that got killed early?
Yes. Darwin.
Yeah, Darwin. Yeah. That's
so Darwin from X-Men plays a Haitian guy, and he is the worst Haitian I've ever met in my life. Like his like everybody is so much doper than, like, to be this dude. I mean, it's just horrible. Like if you just watch one episode, you're like, why is he? He could have been he could have been a banker or something. He just does not play a good gangster.
I mean, he didn't play Darwin really well either. So, there's that. So,
I mean,
how can your mutation be, I can survive anything, my body will adapt and I can survive anything, and you die?
But he adapted. He didn't die. He just...
No, he poof, be gone. You gotta do the dance. Yeah, never mind. Yeah. TikTokers know what I'm talking about. So, speaking of Miami though, Cocaine Cowboys. Did you watch that, Buff?
Oh yeah.
How was it? Did you like it?
Yeah, I did. It was really good. I discovered though there's one I haven't seen, because they did a Cocaine Cowboys, they did one Reloaded, but then they did one specifically on Griselda Blanco and her boyfriend, which I haven't seen yet. So I gotta find it. I gotta find it somewhere, because Netflix took them all off except for this current one, Cocaine Cowboys Miami Kings. So I gotta find it. I want to check that out.
Okay.
All right. What was going on with you?
I got two things also, but Razi, Friends from College, that's on Netflix?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, cool. I'm gonna check that out. I got two things. One, I want to talk about Tabby T. Tabby T is my wife's YouTube page. And I want everybody that's listening to obviously go there, subscribe, check her videos out for obvious reasons. I want you to support her. But these two fellas can vouch. Tabitha is probably one of the most likable people that you will ever meet. Like, if you don't like her, it's because you formed your own opinion about her and just made up in your mind not to like her, because she's like the quietest person in the world and extremely nice. So I say all that because she was extremely nervous about even doing this. She's very, I don't want to say insecure, but she just was not, secure enough to do something like this. But after just discussions that we've had over the last month or so, with my encouragement, she's finally stepping out there and doing something that she wouldn't even dream of doing even several months ago. But she's gotten into watching different vlogs from try-ons to women doing makeup and all that kind of stuff. So she's gotten into it. It's a big part of her now. And she decided to step out there and do it. So if you're listening and you watch a lot of YouTube, I'm just asking that you go to her page, subscribe, check out some of the videos, leave some honest feedback. It don't necessarily, you can be like, girl, you need to do this or you need to do that. But just as long as it's honest and not unnecessarily mean, I would appreciate that. And the other thing I want to...
We'll come for you. He will say it, I'll say it.
Especially Sherman. Y'all know the chats we've had. That loser be ready to ride. Also, I want to talk about Lauren Burke. She's someone that I've had as a guest a couple of times on the other podcasts I've done, Politically Entertaining. We posted her GoFundMe several months back. She had cancer. She's battling cancer. And as those of you know, medical costs for that can be astronomically expensive. So just had a few, I talked to her earlier today because of some things that's going on in the news. And she's doing pretty good. She's in radiation right now. So I bring her up because some of the listeners and fans of the page donated to that GoFundMe. And I just want to thank you. I know you two brothers did as well. So thank you guys. Thank anyone that donated. And as they say in church, and those who wanted to donate but couldn't. It's the thought that counts.
Yeah.
We really appreciate it. And she's doing fine so far. So thank you guys.
Okay, appreciate that. I mean,
Good
keep praying for her, man. I'm trying to think. Good week. I'm winding down my last few days with my current employer. So been an interesting week. Has tried some of my patience. I consider myself a very patient, and for the most part, until when I hit that wall, I'm done. But it's been a crazy week.
Bird won't listen to me. I'd be like quarterbacking or trying to like armchair quarterback and be like, just cuss him out, just leave, and he won't do it. He's like the responsible employee.
But that's going to lead to a question from later. So for later. But did you see I saw this story where this volleyball teacher in Colorado was fired from his job. Actually, he was given a week to get his shit together before his school let him go. Valor Middle School in Colorado basically said it's a Christian school. And they told him he had a week to not be gay, to turn straight, or they were going to let him go.
Oh boy, that lawsuit.
There's no law. You can't sue the church for that. You can't, because it's a religious school, they cannot sue over religious beliefs.
How did they come to a week? Like,
I mean, God created the earth.
Gay conversion theory is.
God created the earth in 7 days, right? Well,
yeah, that's true.
So you cannot be gay no more in 7.
Yeah. So he can get all the gay booty he want for 6 days, and then on the 7th he needs to rest.
Yeah. And so what happened was when
Get
that went
all
public.
the gay booty.
I just saw how I tried to go. I tried to keep going. You know, I just try to keep the party going and just because Razi gonna Razi sometime, you know.
Just all the gay booty.
Razi gonna Razi sometime. And
I know how to say it.
You could have said nothing.
Y'all know my heart. You know what I meant.
See, now that's that church talk right there. God. But it was so crazy to me to read that, especially like you said, the lawsuit, but you can't sue over religious beliefs. The church and stuff like that is protected. But another teacher came out because they found out that she was a lesbian a few years before and like caught her off guard. She got called into a meeting. She thought she had been fighting for promotion and a raise. She thought she was about to have the meeting with the promotion and a raise. It's like, you can't like women no more. So it's just so crazy. And I definitely want to talk about this in more detail on a later date about how the church kind of they're untouchable, you know? At the end of the day, they're really untouchable, and how that, fits into the American lexicon system. So,
I mean, that could be the question.
No, I don't want. I'm not. I got another question because it was more personal this week. So
does he like women's now?
No, I mean, he lost a job, and so they had the school, several of the students, parents, and I think even faculty did a walkout on his behalf. They walked out of the school, but the school is at the end of the day protected, as far as I know. I'll send you guys that article later so you can kind of read on it. But it was just, I saw the post on Facebook and I'm like, that can't be right. Basically, I think it was like gay volleyball teachers said they had 70 days to be straight or lose your job. I'm like, wow. So, I mean,
they should have just fired him. Like that false choice for me is what pisses me off about that. Like, just fire him if you're gonna fire him. Like, you can't turn straight over 7 days.
Yeah, that is also, that's a whole nother part of it. Like, look, we like you. We ain't gonna just let you go. So, I'm gonna give you a little time to think about it, see if you still want to be gay at the end of the day, because it's a choice, of course, right? That's sarcasm, people, because I don't know, you can't see.
Yeah, hot mic you.
It's a choice, and it kind of just like, man, I don't even want to get into it, but that just caught me off guard. Razi, you have a joke for us today?
I think I do. I'm gonna go for it. Let's see. And
the reptile shit was horrible, by the way.
Man, that was funny. That was funny.
You had a pretty funny. What was a funny one he had recently, Buff?
Oh, the little lighter.
And that was okay. That was good. There was another one that I think maybe you posted in our group or something.
I don't know. The whole week one. That one.
That was your best one yet.
Whatever.
Your whole.
So, but I was looking up because I'm thinking about hitting the Bahamas again once these COVID streets calm down a little bit. And I'm looking at like prices and stuff like that, and I was like, apple pie in Jamaica is like $2. And like it's $2.50 in the Bahamas, and so I was like, which one I want to go? But then I just thought about it, and it's, those are the pie rates of the Caribbean, so you really got to go for it.
I mean, it's not. It wasn't awful for it. It wasn't awful. It wasn't awful.
Was it funny?
I mean, it got a chuckle. It's
amusing, maybe. I don't know.
I mean,
pirates.
The pirates, yeah. Look, man, y'all gonna stop doing me like this.
Well, it's not us. It's you.
Whatever. I did buy like some antique speakers. If y'all care about that, just. And I think it was a sound investment.
Better.
Come on, y'all. Y'all gotta give me something.
Give us something to work with, sir. Give us something to work with.
I like that one. I
like that he enjoys his jokes though. That's
it's bless his heart.
Yeah, that's genuine. I like
whatever,
that.
Man. Whatever.
I mean, what do you want from us, Razzie?
I mean,
you want us to fake it?
No. Don't fake it. We don't fake it. All right, let's go. Who got first question?
I think it's on Ferg this week.
Okay, I'll jump in. Let me see. This question. Okay. Like I said, this week was the question. My answer is going to be kind of personal, based off some stuff that happened this week. But my question to you guys is, what is or are your biggest personal / self-imposed challenges to overcome? And the follow-up question is why and where did it come from?
You said biggest challenges?
Like personal, self-imposed things.
So I think I've talked about mine before here. One of them is definitely procrastination and self-doubt. I just, how hypocritical of me. I just pointed out how Tabitha is, she stepped out of her comfort zone and did something that she wanted to do. And that's fairly difficult for me at times. I definitely doubt a lot of things that I would like to do. And I procrastinate. So that makes for a terrible combination. You know what I mean? Yeah. So even if I get the confidence to do it, then I got to get past the procrastination. What has helped me? I
want to go more to that self-doubt, because I feel like that's something that's a mental, like you, where did that come from? Like procrastination is something like we all kind of procrastinate. It's that self-doubt. Like, where did your doubt come from? Why do you doubt yourself? Like, those are the things I'm trying to like, because some people have self-doubt. Some people are self-conscious. Some people are, it's like, well, why? I
think it definitely has to have something to do with, I guess, a fear of failing. You know what I mean? So It's like, I'll think of something and then I'll think of like 10 reasons why I shouldn't, and 10 reasons why it would fail. And it's like, don't waste your time doing that when it's not going to work. You're going to embarrass yourself, all that kind of stuff like that, man. So I will say, with the procrastination, what has helped me is, and I don't know if this is going to sound silly, but just making a schedule for myself. For whatever reason, it works. Like when there's something I want to do, I give myself a deadline. I want it done by this time. And it's like, in my mind, I have to follow it and get it done. And that has helped with the procrastination. The self-doubt, just encouraging words from Tabitha, from you guys. And just pep talking myself at times, like, well, listen, and just try not to give a bleep. Like, you know what? If you fail, everybody fails. Every successful person has failed. So you can't be any different than them. And just go for it. If it don't work, I have a decent life. So any idea that I have is not something that's going to make or break me. You go for it. If it doesn't work, oh, well, you tried.
Do you have a good example
of trying
the self-doubt, like something you were thinking about doing something, and
let Razzie jump in. Come back to me on that.
Okay.
I think my biggest self-imposed challenge is finishing things. I start a lot of stuff, but I don't finish a lot of stuff. So I really need to start finishing and stop starting on things. So, you guys know, I have the whole, I throw it in the group me like, oh, idea of the week, and I'll throw this random idea in there, and then I won't talk about it anymore ever again. Or, we talked about Shipped, right? I had that idea like 2 years before Shipped came out, and I told y'all about it, and then Shipped came out and it's making, billions of dollars. I've started 3 different books and haven't done anything with them. Like, so it's one of those things that I have a bunch of ideas. I have a bunch of things that I think actually could work and probably would be good ideas and good things to do, but I just don't follow through and make them happen. And so I really need to like start whittling down and following through on the ideas that I have. And like you said, Buff, just kind of get them out there, start them. If they fail, they fail. But I need to get them out there and get them done so that, they have a chance. Because a lot of my ideas just never make it to the forefront because I don't follow through on them. I'm excited about them for a week or a month, and then I'm done with it after that.
Why is that? Why don't you finish?
Because I'm on to the next thing. I get bored with it. I'm an idea person, but not necessarily an execution person.
That's me.
And so,
and my answer is Razi. Like I can't even count how many books I've started or wanted to write. I think there's even like a movie I even wanted to write at one time. So
yeah,
man. Yeah.
It's just we started the movie like
yeah.
It was like a week. We went hard for a week, and it's like
That's one of the things I did admire about Sherman when he was locked up, when he wrote those books, and just how detailed and descriptive they were. And I definitely admire him about that because he wrote a complete series. I tell him all the time it could really be like I watched some seasons of Power. Bound by Blood, that whole series is way better than Power. Like if a cable company ever picked it up, you have a hit on his hands.
Yep.
You need to hit a 50 up since BMF is about to come out. But
he's producing a lot of stuff now.
I agree with both of you. So I struggle with, especially the procrastination, starting things. I'm a thinker, me. Like I might come with the cure to save world hunger, but it's like if I gotta put something into action. So that's how I started a podcast. Because people kept telling me to write a book. Actually, I had a book and I started writing with Z was writing notes and stuff for me, and it was called The Franchise Marriage. So if you ever see The Franchise Marriage come out, that means Z finally taught me into putting pen to paper, or those notes came to fruition. But for me, mine would be always feeling the need to do the right thing. It's not even like goody two shoes, like you want to be better. It's not like that because I could, like, even with me leaving my company, I had a job lined up. Everything was good. I have a manager that I bump heads with constantly. Razi, so many people have told me to say, just move on. Like, leave him hanging. And even this week, he got outside of himself and said some stuff that challenged my character. And that's one thing I don't really appreciate is anybody challenges my character. But at the end of the day, I always feel the need to do the right thing. And like, for me, if I care what people think, I would have kept my job. And, because I don't want to disappoint him or disappoint others, I was like, the job. But if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it the right way. I'm going to put my 2-week notice in. I'm going to do this. I actually, we mentioned it last week. I put my 2-week notice in at our national sales training, and I delayed putting my 2-week notice in because I didn't want to disrupt the meetings. I didn't want to cause a scene. I didn't want it to, take away from anybody else's chance to learn. And so that's me. I always, for whatever reason, even when I'm doing the wrong thing, I feel the need to do it the right way. I don't know. And I'm trying to figure out where that comes from. And you guys know me pretty well. Like, I don't know. It's just weird. I can't explain it.
It's just you don't like to disappoint people. That's really what it is. And so even if, like, when you're saying you're doing the right thing, it really is. You're looking at whoever has priority that you don't want to disappoint, right? And there's a lot of people that you don't want to disappoint, so you try to please everybody in that situation, or as many people as you can in that situation.
I don't even think it's because what's crazy is it's not even about pleasing them. I just I feel like this is the right way. This is the way you're supposed to do it. I can care less. It's like. And that's what's so, like, if I felt like I was pleasing people, that would be different. It's just like, well, you're supposed to quit a job this way. This is what you're supposed to do. So just do it that way. You know,
you also manage people too, though. So that I think that's a big difference there. Like when you manage people, you quit like you wanted people to quit for you.
Yeah. Even we had a couple of, well, this is way back. We were talking about, is there a good way to cheat? I think was that the question.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even back way back when.
Was it a good way or was it like a reason to cheat?
I think it was a reason.
Remember, I was like, is there a right way to cheat? Is there a respectable way to cheat?
So even like back then when I occasionally stepped out, like I was always trying to do it respectfully. Like, you know, dudes that just had their ladies out here looking crazy in these streets. Like I'm gonna, first of all, you're gonna know I have a lady, so you have to respect her. You have to respect the situation. You'll never, you know, like I always, even when I was doing wrong, like I don't want her to look bad. You know, she didn't do anything wrong. It's not her fault. So I'm going to make sure she saves face. She's not going to be aware of this situation. That was like that one time back in like years. Wait.
Don't put a year then.
Oh, bro, I'm not putting no years there.
The girlfriend would know which one it was.
But you know, because for me, it's not even about the perception of others. It's just, you know, Z always says I have high moral standards. I just feel like they're not high. They're just like standards. Like this is the right and wrong way to do certain things. You know, people are like, you're such a good husband. Like, yeah, because I treat my wife nice and I don't cheat on her. Like, that's not really amazing. I'm just
the bare minimum.
You know, that's what I do. And, you know, or you do things, I'm like, I just feel like that's what I'm supposed to do. Even mentoring, I feel like I've been blessed with certain things. So I feel like I'm supposed to give back to the community. I'm supposed to help those. I'm supposed to do that. Not because I want people looking at me. It's just, I always feel like that's what I'm supposed to do. And I think the downfall is because I'm out here trying to do the right thing. And I look up and people are doing absolutely wrong, living their best life. Absolutely wrong. Even so, you were talking about take people out of like even trying to financially to manage my money, be fiscally responsible. We joke about it all the time. How long did it take me to buy a PS4? Because I wanted to make the best decision, get the best deal, see if I can get me a free game in it. I think at the end of the day, I paid, you know, retail price and I didn't get anything special. Mm-hmm. You know, I was just like, okay, let me just do this thing. So
yeah. It is really one of those things that trying to do the right thing makes your life harder.
That's what's so crazy.
It is. It is. When you do the right thing, you see it all the time, right? The fiscally responsible people, we sitting there and we can't go on trips and ball out and everything. But then there's folks that go to the club, spend money fast, but then they lights getting turned off. Like, but they actually having way more fun with life than we are.
And I think that's part of it. Is like I have to learn how to like just have fun. And so like I'm over here. I make a decent living, and I'm out here trying to make sure that I keep my credit card balance down, that I'm saving this and investing this and trying to do everything the quote unquote right way. And people out here living their best life. You know, they buying freaking motorcycles and, you know, 5 Series BMWs and shit. And I'm like, I'm over here driving I had my Hyundai Sonata and Z had a 2010 Hyundai Santa Fe. Like we're over here doing okay for ourselves, but like, man, why are we trying to be so responsible? Everybody out here living.
Gotta live, man. Gotta live.
I don't know. I'm trying to get better. I'm just trying. It's like I said, it's weird. You thought of that example yet, Buff? Or
it was one of Razi's. Like I said, with the books, the movie. But I always tell myself I'm still going to do at least one of them. I'm going to do it one day. I'm going to finish one. At this point, I don't even care if I just want to finish it. You know what I'm saying? That's going to be an accomplishment.
Yeah, it don't even have to get made. It don't have to be published. Nothing. It's just like to be able to say, boom, I got it. Here's my 150 pages. Like, I got my book. So, So okay. It's real bad because, you know, like one of them, I have the entire outline. Like I have the book outlined, ready to go. I just got to actually write the chapters. And so, yeah, but I'm going to do that. I think that's one of the things that I want to commit to is making sure that I get it done. maybe by the end of the year. It's kind of close. By the end of next year, I'm gonna finish the book. That's my commitment to the Three Brothers fan base.
Well, do a dad joke book. I mean, like make dad joke a person. Make like you got to give you. We got to give you a name. It could be based off of you. You know, something corny.
See. This is how it happens, Ferg. See, you're giving me a new idea, and I'm not gonna do the idea that I've already started.
Well, I'm the idea guy. That's what I do. You know.
Your question may have sparked something, man. So we'll hold Rise to that. You want to take the next one, Rise? Or
yeah, I can. I had that holdover from last week that I was thinking about asking. I shared it with you guys. The principal in Atlanta that basically racially segregated her kids. So she basically, think about, there's 5 classes in a grade, and she identified 2 of them as the black classes, and she put all the black students in those 2 classes. And so I wanted you guys' thoughts on.
You got to give more detail. Like you left out the fact that the principal herself was black.
Yes.
Out of those classes,
the parents requested to be moved to a different class because they didn't feel like the teacher was the best teacher or a good fit for their kids. And they requested another teacher, and the principal let the cat out of the bag at that point. I guess she felt too comfortable with it. She was like, that's not one of the black classes. And they were like, wait, what? What do you mean? And so, yeah, she was saying that she segregates that, and she puts all the black kids in the 2 of the classes, and then lets the other kids in the other ones, but never gave an actual reason for it. And I think the Atlanta school system, they're researching it right now, investigating it, but nothing's come out from that. But I just really want you guys' thoughts on, do you see some benefits in that approach? And if you don't, why not? Like, which way are you leaning and why?
I feel like if you argue against it, then you also aren't you kind of arguing against HBCUs in a way? If you think that's a bad idea to segregate them, or am I off on that?
Well, I'll answer that part. The thing about HBCU is his choice. When you take choice away from somebody because you have an idea that you think is going to work, I think HBCUs are just. I'm all, you know how I feel. I'm pro HBCU. When I first heard this, I'm like, she just created a HBT, C, historically black second grade class. Like she just.
Oh, that's what grade this was, second grade.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so it's the thing about it is everybody's not built for that life. You do need to give people a choice. If she would have had a meeting with the parents and discussed the benefits, for whatever reason, the parents know their child and said they don't feel like the teacher's a good fit. And then it's basically saying this is why HBCUs were made, because we couldn't get into other schools. We couldn't go to other places. And so it's like, oh no, you niggas stay over here. Like if she'd have said, okay, I can make that happen. I just wanted to let you know I chose these teachers because of this, rather than, no, that's not one of the black classes. So no, Razi can't go. Like it's, I handpicked, if she would have came and said, hey, Mr. Mancarella, I handpicked these teachers for your kids. I feel like the benefits of these 2 teachers and the impact they've had on our other black students is great. Let me hear some testimonials. Here's why. However, if you want to take your kids to these other teachers, then by all means, these are your kids. That's fine. But also at the same time, now you put this kid in a situation where he or she is the only black kid in any one of these other 3 classes. So there are 25 kids in a class. That person now is a loner. It's.
And that's kind of going to my answer. That's a little bit of what I was thinking, is that the black population of that school was only 11%. So you think through this, say there's 100 second graders, you got 11 black kids in the entire second grade. If I split them between 5 classes, say, is what they said they had, 5 classes, I'm literally putting 2 black kids in each class versus being able to say, I'm going to have 5 or 6 black kids in these 2 classes so that they can have, a really good melting pot and they can feel more comfortable having more kids that look like them, and so that they're not the only black kid or one of 2 black kids in the class. And so that she was making it more inclusive by putting them together or putting all the black kids together. The issue comes in that we don't know, because she didn't respond. We didn't get a response from her. It's all the parents' testimony and the school system's, statement. That's it. That's all we have. So I really do want to think through her rationale, because I can see it making sense that she would do that and put all those kids together and say, no, I'm putting them in that. And hopefully she's thinking even longer term to say, I'm going to move those black kids and the kids that were in the all white classes or whatever. We're going to move them into so that they can interact with these black children throughout the year as well. So trying to balance what's good for the black kids with actually integrating and making sure that everybody has a chance to interact with people of opposite race is hard. And it's a long-term strategy that she needs to make. But I think that I kind of support her. I kind of think it made sense what she was doing if she's thinking along the lines that I'm thinking.
This would have been perfect, right? When those kids in Little Rock integrated that school. But I think maybe a remixed version of this could have been if she kept those, like in your example, you said 11 out of 100. If she kept those 11 black kids together, but still put them in the other classes. So like, say if they have a class of 25 each, then one of those classes are going to have 14 of the other race, and then all 11, those 11 stick together from class to class or whatever like that. As far as putting them in the class by themselves, I kind of don't like it, because we may agree with this position of this principal, but if she's allowed to do, then think of what other principals across other schools can do in a much more negative way that we don't agree with. Yeah. So I don't want to say.
And just to let you know, she didn't put them all in one class. She split them up into 2 classes with other white kids in there. So it wasn't just like a black class. It was 2 classes that had black kids in them.
So 5 and 6. 5 in one class.
Okay, so that's
yeah.
I do like that then. I like that. Okay.
Yeah. So the premise, I think, is good. You're trying to get group cooperation. I think also relaying that message to the parents. Let them know what's going on, so they can be on the same page. You have the best of intentions, but it's, I'm still their guardian. I'm still their parents. Let me know what's going on. And then, like I said, when the choice came up or the opportunity came up, she was like, from my understanding, she was like, nah, chief, like, nah, because
the administrators have that authority to say no.
That teacher's not available for your kid.
Yeah. Is this a private school?
No, it's Atlanta Public School.
Atlanta is black as Wakanda. Like,
this is the weird part about it. It's a black principal, but the school is in one of the most affluent areas in Atlanta. Hence why, you say Atlanta in general is black as I don't know what, but the population of that area is only 11% black in Atlanta. So that lets you know kind of generally what you're talking about, what area you're talking about with that school. So it's a very high end affluent area. And so I'm siding with the principal on this. I really am.
But I think I understand your concept, but when you take what being in a class with 5 kids versus or 4 other kids, that ain't really. It's still you're still a huge minority. I've been that black kid. I've been that black kid in the 4th and 5th grade. That was my 4th and 5th grade experience. Bowie Elementary, Richardson, Texas. I did that. You adapt and overcome. Like it should be an option. I understand your intent, but when your intent supersedes my will for my kids as well, like when I lose that ability to still parent because I know my kids, it could be he or she just doesn't like this teacher. They just don't gel well. At that age, my kid, if they're uncomfortable, they don't know how to cope, they're emotionally stressed. There's 4 other teachers, 3 other teachers that my child can go to, but you're telling me no. Mm-hmm. Because you have a social experiment that you feel like is best for my child or all the other 10 kids. And I'm telling you, hey, I get it, but I have to do what's best for my child. If they told you, take it, whatever her rationale is, if you go to a school and like, hey, Sophie doesn't feel comfortable in this class, I want to move her to another teacher. And they're like, no, Sophie has to go to this class. For whatever the reason. Mm-hmm. How do you deal with that? They can have the best of intentions.
Yeah, because I'm dealing with the whole everybody loving to play in Sophie's hair right now. So trying to protect that. But it's funny because Sophie be playing in the white kids' hair too. So I be laughing.
I was about to say something. That's the thing.
Sophie giving it to him. She's like, oh, look at it. It's so limp. He just falls back down.
Love that. I love that. Yeah, so I see the intent, but you also gotta work together. Yeah. What you got for us, Buff?
So this is our 102nd episode, and we have spewed numerous opinions and thoughts on these shows. My question to you guys, over these two years that we've been doing this, have you stated an opinion on a previous show that today you now look back on and maybe want to amend it or completely change your mind on it?
That's hard because I just randomly throw stuff out there. So I don't even know. I don't even remember what I said. So
yeah, I'll have to go back and listen to all the shows. You start. Maybe that jogs some memories.
My big thing was marriage is overrated, right? And I have come to, I guess, kind of change my mind on that a little bit. This will make some people mad, but watching some of Kevin Samuels' videos, don't worry, I'm not going to go to the whole looks and grade thing, ladies. But one of his things that many of you probably miss because you can't stand some of the stuff he says is he's a huge proponent of marriage, of Black marriage at that. And whether you disagree or hate him or dislike him, I have come to agree with that he feels like marriage is is financially sound in building up our community again. And on one of our episodes, I think it was the episode right after Looting Is Bad, when we were like, we need to try to find solutions. And I feel like it's definitely not it definitely doesn't solve everything within the Black community, but I think if we stress marriage again in our community, it would definitely help, because I do think that is a step towards, the stability that a lot of these kids need. It's a step towards wealth. Like you look at how Orazio is teaching his kids. I'm sure he's teaching his kids about, or he will teach his kids about money management and credit and things like that. And yeah, he could do that if he wasn't in the house or whatever like that. And if Jen was here and they divorced and he was out the house, he could still do it. But it's being in the house every day, saying that really, really affects kids in a positive way. And I just think for me to say marriage is overrated, I think more or less what I really was stating, I think Ambrosia touched on this in one of her comments on one of our posts. It's not so much that marriage is overrated. I think I feel that way towards weddings. I think weddings and the money if you think about how much just a decent, not even an over-the-top wedding, I've heard people spend $50,000 conservatively on a wedding, and it takes them like 8 years to pay it off. That makes no sense to me.
And the divorcing for.
That too. And all you're doing is just putting on a party. It's really for everybody else. I mean, yeah, they're there to celebrate you, but they're also there to drink your liquor and eat your food and talk about what they liked and didn't like about your ceremony to other people. So weddings to me are very overrated. I've attended plenty. I've enjoyed them. We had one. So if that, just to put that out there, if you want to call me a hypocrite, but I have always felt that way, that weddings are overrated and overpriced. And I think they're the biggest waste of money in this society. And I think I've allowed that thinking to leak into marriage being overrated. And just that, because anybody can do it. And when anybody can do something, that can be a bit overrated. But I do think marriage in the Black community could be a step towards positive change that we all hope and look for.
Yeah. I was just going to say, anybody can't do it successfully.
That's a good point. That's a good point, bro.
So yeah. It's one of those things. And like you were talking about, like with marriage, the thing about it is show coaching all of that. Like being in the house, like you talked about being in the house versus being separated and everything. It is so poignant to be able to show your kids how to be in a loving relationship, how to disagree respectfully, how to have an argument and not be mad at each other for 7 days after, how to show love, show affection. It's something about like I grew up watching my dad smack my mom on the butt when she walked by. Like that was, you know what I'm saying? And
so that's not just a Black guy thing?
It's not just a Black guy
Italian men do it too?
Italians do it too.
He's Sicilian too, so,
that's the same. He got that black,
that's
down
it.
in there. Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, drop of black blood, you think about it, he Black too. You really think about it. They got some Black down in their roots too. But, but I grew up looking at that and watching how my mom and dad would like Jones on each other and laugh and joke at each other, but still like, you can tell it's lovingly or whatever. And I brought that into my relationships and I always kind of did that same thing. So like I'm handsy or whatever. And I do that. And I wanted to show that to the kids. And so even though Jen left us early, like, I can tell the kids caught that and they understood that because they kind of do the same thing now. They're lovey-dovey. They hug on each other. They show affection. Whereas a lot of kids that are in single relation or, single parent homes don't show affection like that because they don't see it. Like, and so when you get into those relationships, you don't kind of do it. So go ahead, Fert.
So agree with everything you guys said. So a couple of points. A healthy marriage is the key to us getting together, improving, because that's my thing. I'm always big that our kids are going to grow up. Our kids are going to have a childhood. They're going to learn how to be kids. The question is when they become 18, 19, 20, they become adults. They're adults a lot longer than their kids. How are we teaching them how to function as adults? And nothing against, we were, Byron, you and I were raised by single parents. So, and nothing can take away from the love and everything my mom showed. But there's always, and I'm be careful how I put this because it's not that we're necessarily missing stuff, but there's always more. I can give you all that I have, but my wife is going to add more to the table, bring more to the table. So nothing against single parents, but there's something about seeing that. And we can see, my sister loves her kids. When I say she is Wonder Woman, Superwoman rolled into one, they're going to learn how to be strong women. But they've never quite seen their mom in a relationship and being loved the way she deserves to be loved. They've never seen their mom be able to be vulnerable and give that love back to somebody. And so those are things that they could possibly be missing that I want to make sure my kids see. And I'm very big on it. And we vocalize it, like I make sure I call Z my wife, like, hey, if TJ gets, hey, don't be hitting my wife. Like I let him know, like, hey, that's your mama. That's my wife. Like, I want them to know that. So I'm very big on healthy marriages are key. We need more of them. We have to have that open dialogue. We have to be, vulnerable. We have to trust each other and all that stuff. That's a topic for a whole nother show, but I'm still trying to think of your question, Buff. Riza, do you have an answer?
I have one, and I think I've publicly moved the needle on it anyway. So the whole independent versus single thing, and you see how I've kind of been evolving that over time to now I really understand the difference of independent versus individual. And so I'm adding more nuance to that catchphrase, even though I still agree that independent equals single. That is hands down. But now there's some color to the phrase. So yeah, I think that is probably the most thing that I've evolved on and at least fleshed out the idea better.
So this may come as a shocker to some, and it might even be a cop-out, but it kind of goes back to my answer today. Always want to do the right thing, right? So looting is bad.
Wow.
Because my thing is, like, even that situation, like, I know we're upset, but I feel like let's not destroy our stuff. Like, there's a right way to do this. Like, let's not fuck up our stuff. Like, man, everywhere else in the world, when it hits the fan, they bring the noise. And we just need to bring the noise. We got to make people uncomfortable. If we're willing to suffer through the suffering, if that makes sense, like, hey, if we gonna fuck it, if we bad and we gonna burn down, we burn down our shit. If it's okay with you, then hey, it's okay with me. Like, I'm not gonna tell you how to be angry. I think there's a better way, but I got you. I'm here with you. If we're looting tomorrow, I might meet you at the police station where we're the end result. Like, I'm not trying to burn down your homes. I'm not going to burn down your shit with you, but I'm with you. I'm not going to be sitting there. I'm not going to demean you by doing that or judge you for doing that. So,
I ain't coming out at all. I'll tip my hat to you for doing it.
That too.
And let me come out and be responsible. Just in case this got lost in that episode, we are not encouraging anyone to loot or anything. Yeah. My whole thing at the time, if I remember correctly, was that if it's a George Floyd type death, Trayvon Martin type death, Tamir Rice type death involved, then I care less about the looting than I do about people being angry at getting justice. That was my big thing. I don't think they should loot, but if I ran a news organization, that's not what I'm going to highlight. I'm going to highlight why these people are as angry as they are because life was lost in an unjustified way.
And that was kind of my point. It's like, man, it's deflecting, it's giving them ammo to, change the narrative and stuff like that. Let's come in focus. But when you're angry, like, we all know what we're supposed to do and we're not supposed to do. But when we hit a certain point, when you're seeing red, it is what it is. I can only imagine how I react if that was one of my wife or my kids or one of my family members. Yeah. As Mr. I want to do the right thing. I was questioning myself, like, how would I react? That's always it. I don't know, man. I finally watched, y'all gonna be mad at me. Buff gonna be super pissed. I finally watched Bad Boys for Life.
I just like it.
It was pretty good.
Yeah.
I didn't think there was gonna be a sequel to that. I mean, like, they're still trying to set it up. I thought that might have been the finale, but it's just like they're from what I hear, they're starting.
This is going 9 episodes, 10 episodes.
No.
This is going to be next Fast and Furious.
The next one is going to be the last one. And speaking of Fast and Furious,
I haven't seen it.
I apologize to anyone that I may have offended with my post, but that franchise is now trash. I mean, they went to space, dog. Come on.
I haven't seen it yet. I haven't watched Fast 9 yet. I need to go ahead and do it.
I didn't watch it either. I haven't.
Was it a Fast 10?
No,
like,
they're making Fast 10.
I feel like there was a Fast 10 and they went back to Fast 9. Like I feel like they're doing that kind of shit. You know, they're like on the iPhone type stuff. But you know, the scene when Mike got shot.
Mm-hmm.
And when I watch movies like that, and he came back to Martin's character and was like, you know, I got shot. Are you gonna ride? Like, are you ready to ride with me? And he's kind of like, nah. And I'm like, man, what would I do?
That was a real scene right there, man.
Yeah, like my thing is like you ride with me, kind of like it made me think like he's like, man, my wife just had, you know, my daughter just had this baby. Like I'm all about my family. I can't do it, and I'm like the me that wants to do the right thing is like that's me, but it's like rising. Yeah, I have a temper. When I'm there, I'm done. Like it's no, and I'm like, how would I handle that situation? Oh, and the highlight of the movie was the fact that what's Buddy's name?
Reggie was
still there.
Reggie was back. That was funny. That was real funny.
I had to stop the movie and show Z the Reggie scene because she wasn't familiar with it because you know she's 18.
She's 12. Yeah.
That's what I said. I talked, you know, but it was pretty good. So
nice.
Cool.
What else y'all got for us?
Parting shots, man. I want to once again go back to Afghanistan. You guys may not have known, but you know, they had it was a tough day today. We lost, I want to say 12 Marines, along with over 30 Afghan nationals, from a suicide bomb. You know, I'm worried because Joe is so bad at foreign policy and he's so bad at military matters that I'm worried that he's going to overreact and suck us back into a war. I'm hoping that they do some clandestine type stuff or you know, or just bomb some sites like I talked about last week. But either way it goes, we have to react as Americans. We got to ride, like you just talked about, Ferg. We gotta get out there and ride, right? Like they killed some of ours. So I'm hoping we do the right thing. We go back and we retaliate in the right way. But at the same time, man, my prayers to those family members, you know, friends, battle buddies, and everything that knew those guys. I just found out that one of my fraternity brothers, his son just got called. His unit got called. They're going over to support, and so obviously we're sending more troops in to assist with security for until I think the 30th, right, is supposedly our last day there. So,
yes,
but
just 31st.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, you know, we can get there in a day. So, you know, especially active duty units, they're ready to deploy. Yeah. So, yeah, they're going over to help finish out these last 5 days, but it can go on in those 5 days. I know what 5 days can do. So it really can go on. So prayers up, and they're heavily, making sure that
they're heavily armed too.
Yeah, they're very heavily armed. Now I mean, I don't want to get too far into, you know, the whole thing. Like the Taliban as a whole aren't taking responsibility for it. I think even some of the Taliban was hurt in that. So there's a branch of the Taliban that actually did that suicide bombing. So the group that is leading the insurgency, or I guess now the government, right, of Afghanistan, they aren't taking responsibility of it. It's a branch group that still just wants to fight. So it's one of those things too, that it's complex. It's not let's go oust the Taliban from Afghanistan because their folks got hurt just like ours did in that. So that, you know, there's all kind of things going on with this. But I hope the response is right. But like I said, man, my heart goes out to everybody who's involved that lost somebody today.
Well said, bro. I started off the show talking about my wife. I want to end it saying, as we record this on August 26th, tomorrow, August 27th, will be her 41st birthday. So happy birthday, Tab. And happy birthday to Melvin Hooley Johnson. I know you guys share the same birthday, so happy birthday to both you guys. And congratulations to you, bro, on Truth Be Told Sports, man. Y'all doing some big things, man. So we salute you. We salute you guys over at Truth Be Told Sports. Make sure you check that out. They They cover all sports. It's not just football, basketball. They cover it all. So happy birthday, Melvin, Tabitha. Hope you enjoy what I have planned for you, Tab. So let me know. But happy birthday.
All right.
I'm sorry. And one other thing. Rozzy, you made a dope post. Happy belated anniversary to you and Jen, man. You shared that post. Your damn strength, dog, is, it's just something to fucking admire. But and the love y'all share was dope as hell, man. And that post showed it, like y'all two just having a good time, man. So happy belated anniversary, bro.
Man, appreciate it.
Likewise, I was just thinking about that as you were speaking. 40 years ago, we were in Paris living our best life, man. And I'll always cherish those memories. It'll never be the same. So we have this thing in my chapter, we call it the STFU committee. For you guys that can't figure it out, that's Shut the Fuck Up Committee. For all you people who have all this knowledge about the vaccine, please keep that random, dumb shit to yourself. I mean, people are out here dying in like drones. Like we act like we were not in a worldwide pandemic this time last year. We're in a much better situation considering that we have the opportunity to all get vaccinated and we're still spreading larceny or, even if you don't want to, keep that to yourself. Stop forming these anti-vax cults. Like, just let people make educated decisions for themselves. Some people are just gullible enough to believe saying, stop. Full stop. I'm not telling people to get vaccinated. I'll keep my opinion to myself if you keep your opinion to yourself. How about that?
You don't have to get vaccinated, but if you're not going to get vaccinated, at least wear the mask. Like, I was one of the last people to get vaccinated on this show.
But you never said, but you
had
never
enough respect. Yeah, and I had enough respect to wear my mask. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, there's a difference of questioning the vaccine, whether, I don't know if I get it because, like you said, I wanted to see what that vax do before I took it, that type of thing, and questioning, do vaccines work? And or is the virus real? Or,
nope, not even that.
I'm healthy, so I can do it.
Pulling bullshit articles and facts to prove your point. That's what's killing me. Mm-hmm. When you're feeding false information. Byron, at no point, if you would have never said you weren't vaccinated, nobody would have known. Mm. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was your choice. You respected people's decision. I'm not telling people to get vaccinated. I'm just telling people to keep their uneducated opinions to themselves.
As Rozzy says, you barely passed science in high school.
Oh, that's a whole nother conversation.
I say that, but there's doctors out there, there's nurses out there. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it how you're questioning a vaccine when you went to medical school. You know how much research and information and gates that a vaccine has to get, especially to get full FDA approval. Now, like the vaccine didn't take any shortcut or shortcuts. Like, it went through every gate it had to go through. It's just that it was way easier when everybody in the world is working to get through the gates, right?
When is the priority? When is usually
Yeah, I mean, like when just think about something that, in your life, right? That, it's not a priority. You slow play it. But as soon as you put focus on it, you can finish it in an hour or two or whatever. It's the exact same thing. That's what happened. It was like, it hit this gate. I need an approval by somebody. It goes to somebody's desk and they sign it right there within 5 minutes, and it goes back, and then it moves on in the process. That's what was happening. It was like fast track every part of the process, but it hit every gate. But again, we don't want to go into all that. I mean, we'll But yes, it irks me.
STFU committee.
I like that.
That's all I'm asking. Just don't say anything, people. Let people research it for themselves. I'm not going to encourage anybody to get the vaccine. I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm just going to tell people to go research it for themselves and stop listening to uneducated people. Go listen. Don't listen to me. Almost, LeVar, you don't have to take my word for it. Go listen to a healthcare professional and figure it out for yourself. And check out BMF, by the way. I'm so excited for that movement. I mean, that show. I don't know if it's just me.
Yeah.
And I'm not a 50 cool. I'm not a 50 Cent show fan, but I think that's gonna be pretty dope. So anything else, fellas?
That's it.
If not, then let's go ahead and do it. Three Brothers No Sense. Listen, like, share, subscribe, comment, and most importantly, listen again. Talk to you next week.